Okay, now I think we got it going better. Come on. Got it right there. So, okay. Well, we're coming up to start time. Good morning, everyone. Gorgeous day out there. Although this morning I did wake up with a touch of the flu that my husband's been fighting. So he is actually off at the drugstore finding supplies for me today. So anyways, let's just see what we got here. Here we go. Now we're rocking. There we go. Okay, 10:58. There we go. Just want to be able to watch for messages. There we go. Comments. Okay. Hi, Jacqueline. Welcome. Oh gosh, should get my tummy out of the picture, shouldn't I? There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so 10:59. Okay. Well, again, good morning, everyone. Today's project is something that inspired me when I was in the shop, I think about a month ago. And I came across a Dina Wakely product. And I'm going to show that to you today because it just kind of opened up so many possibilities. It was a little bit tricky at first to decide what to do, but we got it done. So good morning, everyone. I'm Donna Wisnicki from the design team for Scrap On Mass. And we'll just put that off to the side. And here is the creation. Now, I always do an envelope to match my cards. So there we go there. As you can see, it's an embossed background. The leaves, the flower, and a little pop of color with the ladybug there. But the one product that I'm going to be showing you today that was really fun to work with is the Dina Wakely, here we go, Chroma Transparencies. Okay, so that's what I did for the leaves. And this is kind of fun because there are so many different messages or verses with these. And I'm just going to, at first I thought I would weave, which I will probably do in another project. But you can see there's all kinds of different messages here. Let's just see if I can do this here for you like this, you know. This one I really like. Mistakes mean I'm trying. Mistakes, and then it goes MEM, and then they go mean I'm learning. Okay, so there's a bunch of different ones, and I think one of the next projects I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to try weaving this. I embrace my mistakes. I celebrate my mistakes. And let's face it, when we're creating, there are no mistakes. It's just creative opportunities. So initially I thought I would weave, but then I decided no, because I did have the paper pad, which I have right here. This one. And I love this. Now, this here has been thinned out, but you can see all the lovely flowers that are in here. There's doors, there's windows. And you might look at these and go, oh my gosh, those are kind of big pages. Think of it this way, okay? Think of it that way. So you can cut these up and still make interesting cards or journal pages. There's just so many possibilities here. Again, you don't have to use the whole door. You can use half of it, a quarter of it. There's so much texture on these pages, which is really fabulous. Now, the reason why my pad looks a little bit thin is because when I get my pads, there's a lot of fussy cutting that you can do with this pad. And just to show you some of the images, I cut as much as I can before I'm going to actually start to use it. And you can see there's all kinds, look at the flowers here. There's leaves here. Again, I will go in and fussy cut these once I've decided, yes, I'm going to do that. But at least I've got most of the prep work done so that when I start to create, I'm not stop, go, stop, go. I can just literally pull these out and then just start working. Butterflies, numbers, letters, doors, there's light bulbs. So a lot of it I've already prepped just to make it easier and more time efficient when I do start to work with these. So with this paper pad here, I'm just going to pull this up. Some of the flowers already have a little bit of color to them, but this one that I chose didn't have so much color, okay? So what I did was I fussy cut the larger flower out, which would have been this one here, okay? So I fussy cut around and through here, and then what I did, you'll notice that there's extra petals here, but it just makes it so large. So once I got this part done, I did fussy cut these ones out, and then I tucked them along here. So it just makes it a little bit fuller. Now, for the coloring, what I did is I just fussy cut a small one here so I can show you. And I used broken china. Personally, I love kind of like an aqua blue with a little pop of red. That's kind of like my favorite. So what I did was small little brushes, and I love these ones because this one here is waffle flower. I also use the pink fresh. Knock it off, and I start from the edge and go in, okay? And you see, it just defines your petals. Also depends on the color of your background too. But you can see how quickly this goes. And I'm just doing the outside edge just to give it some outline, some definition. And then if I was going to be adding extra petals in, okay, I would also do that. Now, the center, I just want to give it a slight little tint, you know, where they have the touch of gray right in through here. I'm just going to just gently tint it. do around the petal outlines. So it looks like it got in there and each one has a little bit of definition. So you can see how quickly that goes. So that's that. And that was just fussy cutting out. You can notice here the leaves as the backgrounds. I went through my collection of leaves that I had and tried to find ones that were very similar so that I could use with my arrangement there. So I had that die. And I have another one here. Now, when I was creating this, so here's my other leaves because I thought this one, very similar to this leaf here. And then I just pop that baby out. And there we go. Now, the nice thing about these leaves that I have here, and it depends on what you have in your collection, okay? But in order to give definitions, some shape to them, just kind of give them a center. And that's exactly what I did. Now, I did ink these. I used, let's see, Hickory Smoke, because again, I'm trying to work those colors in, and Vintage Photo. But I shaped them. Okay, and I had them ink. So you can see under here. Now, because my leaves were white, even though I had tinted them, when I put them up against the background, they got lost. So that's why I walked away, came back. And what I opted to do, just change my glasses here, was I did black die cuts. And I actually just cut right down the center. We'll do it, for example, right here for you. Now, I gotta say, I love these scissors because I have arthritis in my hands, and after talking with doctors and whatnot, they said, you know, be clever about your hand energy units. So use things that'll make it easier on your hands. I love these because they've got a spring in them. Pardon me. So it makes it easier on my hand. It doesn't cramp up as much. So for those of you that might have arthritic hands, for fussy cutting, these are fabulous scissors, and they're made by Elizabeth Craft. And I'll put up the link. So what I did was I just took this and just, see, ever so slightly, just gave it a little bit of a definition there, outline, and then did this side as well. So you can do that if you have a light green leaf. You could do a dark green to kind of give it its shadow, okay? So that's those guys there. Now for the background, I gotta say I do love my 3D texture plates. So the trick for them, because there is that texture, you're gonna have to check your sandwich. But what I like to do, as I'm sure most of you do, we like to just give our water just a quick spritz. Okay, slip it in. And just put it through your machine. There we go. I like this. I love this one. Now this one is Sizzix, large A5, 666 888. And it is called Botanical Large. So for this, you can take your inks and run over top. Okay, and that's what I did for this background here. So you can run over top or flip it. And look at that. That's another way. And so just running the ink pad over. So let me, let's see, this was frayed burlap. So it's just a matter of taking your ink and just running over it. Give it a good amount of time to dry afterwards too. But look how the design really just pops. And that's what you're doing, is you're just running your ink pad over that. So check your top side and your underside to see which one you're going to kind of like. Because it, you know, it's good to have options. Now, initially when this goes on, it looks a little bit dark. But once it dries, it's really quite lovely. It's not quite as dark. And there we go there. Keep all my inks off to the side there. So again, from this to this or this. Okay. It's fun. It's fun. Okay, so let's get these off to the side there. So then it's a matter of die cutting your acetate. Now the transparency, like I said, I had cut mine in strips, but then this is a great package, and this is a package of $13.49. So, and you're getting 6 sheets. Now you can see here the difference. Some have lines through them. Some has, this one here has like a pinky background. So if you're doing pink flowers and, you know, different shade of green leaves and such, that would be kind of fun. But like I said, the messages on here are kind of interesting, and that's why when I was cutting my leaves, here we go, it was a matter of lining up where, see this one here, let me just flip this over. Okay, see this one here, life is short, art is infinite. So that, to me, we must first be willing to do it. To me, that would be kind of cool to have that on my leaf. So I will position that like so, and we're going to give it a die cut. And now the acetate doesn't, you're going to have to go through it a couple of times, back and forth, because it is thick. So we're just going to do this again. I have a bad shoulder. So we're just going to do this again. But even running it through the one time, it does leave a good impression. And it's very easy. You can see there. You can see the outline of that impression. Maybe that's better. There we go. You can see it. So now I can just come in with my scissors, trim around that. And it's this part I found kind of fun, because depending on who you're sending the card to, you can really customize your secret message to them, you know, whether they be an artist or not. And the message is in the leaves there. Okay. And then I still have that crease line there, so I'm going to shape it while I have it here in my hand. And there we have it. Look at that. That can go on my next card. Life is short. Art is infinite. We must first be willing to do it. Room for the next. So this is the fun part. You've got wonderful sheets here. Some have a little bit more, like I said, design on them than others. This one here, it's kind of tricky because I have to, so you can see the color is a little bit bolder, I guess I want to say. So it just depends on how you want to do it. This one might be good to weave on a cream colored background. See, I love the messages here. You are not stuck. You are allowed to grow and change. And I think we as artists, and we are artists, ladies, our craft evolves. What I was doing when I first started to what I'm doing right now, I have changed, okay? My art has changed. And, you know, it was my mother-in-law who, bless her soul, whenever I made anything, she would always say to me, did you sign it? Did you sign it? God bless her. I love this one. Make your own glow. Love you. So there's lots of messages in these sheets that you can send a secret message to someone, which is really kind of fun because it makes you wonder, okay, let's see how long it takes them to notice. So when it comes to the leaves, the acetate leaves, I put them up against, where's my other leaves here? And I wanted, you can see that there's that clear edge. There's nothing there. So what I did is I just took a Sharpie and I'm just running it along the edge because I just wanted that little bit of an outline. Now, if your marker gets away from you, okay, and you end up with a line on the back, just get a Q-tip with some alcohol on it, and it will take that line right away. See? It's just got that little bit of more outline on it, which again helps with the layering, with the definition of your layers. Okay, and you know what? Let's just grab a piece so I can show you. Here we go. Let's show you how quick and easy an oops is to fix up. So let's take a scrap piece here, and I'll just put a line on there like that. My alcohol. Clean end. Okay, and we're just going to clean this off. So if your marker does get away from you, if you decide that you're going to ink the edge, alcohol and a Q-tip to the rescue to tidy that up. Now, there we go. We'll put that off to the side. Now it comes to placement. So you have to decide, how am I going to layer this up? Because there are different flowers on the one page, you can still do that. You can make a different color in there. There's still more flowers. You see, you can cut this one out and you've got a bit of this one here. There's lots to work with there. And then it's a matter of shaping your flowers. So you can do it by hand, you know, to lift your petals. Or, look at this one. This fits nicely in a hand that's arthritic, which is fabulous. And you're just going to because you want it to lift up. See how the edges are coming alive. Your flower is looking nice and fresh, and freshly picked. Nice and easy. And here, this is, now, this is the one that just recently came in, and like I said, it fits nicely in your hand. And there's also the Stamperia, look at this. This is even, so it's a nice set because you've got different sizes here, and it just makes it easy. I do enjoy this one because it does fit so nicely in my hand, and it makes it easier. After this, after I finished, I had created the flower, had it in place, added my extra petals along here. What I did was I took some glossy accents and just dabbed a few spots in the center and put in some black seed beads. I didn't do the whole area black because I wanted to pick up on some of the gold tones that I have throughout the background, and actually the leaves and such. So I did the black first, got that into place, let it set for a little bit. Then I put more glossy accents in the center, added the gold. So it gives a nice combination of the gold in the black, kind of like the sunlight is catching it. Okay. Then just for a pop of color and good luck, I have my ladybug. And the ladybugs are part of sprinkles. Now, I recently bought up a whole pile of these. I do have 4 extra packages. If anyone, the first 4 people that say that they would like one, just send me a message, and I will pop the ladybugs for good luck into the mail for you. So, now, what I also did, like I said, I always do my envelope to match my card. So I took the same colors and just edged. And sometimes too, I will take my marker and just go along the edge too. And ever so carefully, see, it just, this edge compared to that edge, this has been tinted, but sometimes I just like to give it a little bit more. I added some gold splatters to the envelope. I used a Wink of Stella because I wanted to pick up on that gold tone that was throughout the card in the center of the flower. Shoot. See, sometimes it does get away from you. But then you know what you do? You just add more splatters. Easy peasy. And there we go. See, just that thin little line really does help it. So, on the inside, I always add an extra piece of paper, but I took one of the thoughts, I want to say, or verses from the inside, and I glued it to the bottom there. And then, of course, I'm going to be signing the back of my card. So there we have it. This one goes together really quite quickly. The fun part is choosing your secret message from these sheets. Because, like I said, you can really customize it. And you can see here the different fonts. The C calls to me. So you've got take risks, make mistakes. This is such a fun package to work with. And like I said, the next card that I'm going to be making, I'm going to try weaving. And once I got that done, I will post it for you so you can see. So to review, the background, is the 3D embossing folder. And this was Botanical Large. Take your ink pads, ink the embossed, or ink the debossed. And it depends on what kind of effect that you want to do. This one's going to look a little bit heavier. So to put the leaves and such on that, they might stand out a little bit more. But that's your choice. Again, it's an option, and it's another way to make more use of your embossing folders. Then we had the paper. And this company is from Poland. I gotta say, the quality of this paper is absolutely fabulous. It's good, it's stiff, and it just stands up so well. So, like I said, I fussy cut, and I used my little scissors to make it easier on my hands with a little bit of spring there to make better use of my hand energy units as I was instructed. Okay. Used the little brushes here for inking the edge, coming in from the outside in to tint. Then adding the seed beads to the center of the flowers. Again, you're giving more definition, more texture, and you're giving that, ooh, ah, isn't that kind of cool factor, okay? Let's just see what else. Seed beads. Remember, you can always cut extra petals from the other flowers. See, this one here, if you wanted to add, I might cut these out and then just glue them to the back and add a little bit larger flower. Okay, and then the leaves. Go through your dies, see what you might have. You're going to cut with the, I did with the white paper, then I cut with the acetate. Like I said, the acetate is very thick, but that's okay. You can very quickly with your sisters, it makes the impression with the dies that I had. Okay, with the dies that I had, it made the impression, and it just made it quick and easy for me to cut the leaves out. But again, decide on the message that you want to be part of your secret message. You see, here's another good one. When we stop fearing failure, we start being artists. So true, eh? And then shape your leaves. And what I did, because of the colors I had used, I had actually cut some extra leaves, black, and to kind of give a shadow, okay, that's where I put the black just around the outer edge, just enough. And maybe not even the whole leaf has, because you see this one here goes thinner. It doesn't have the whole black. This one here has a little bit more black. You get to mix it up. And then here's the acetate on top. So there you go. That's all of the products and techniques for this one. It's a very quick one. Hopefully you'll give it a try. Like I said, the next time I'm going to try doing a weave. And I think after my husband comes back from the drugstore with some cold medicine for me, I'll give that a try. But I have my strips already cut. And that will be, where are they? They're around here somewhere. But it will just be a matter of weaving them and making sure certain messages or certain thoughts verses stand out more than others. And it can be a very, very simple card. Now, I also have a live coming up for next Saturday. And I have a couple of different thoughts about that. And I wanted to share that with you. And let's see. Here we go. Just wondering what you ladies might think. Now, I was in the store just this past week, and I picked up the 4x6 File Master. And it comes with, this is $15.19, but we're coming up to the season of brides you know, people getting married and such. And we're always trying to come up with different ideas for the bridal showers, etc. And what I thought would be kind of fun, now I'm not going to use the envelope per se, but I wanted to use the outside of it, and I'll probably close this up. But I thought that this box would make a really nice recipe box. And, you know, with some of the bridal showers, sometimes it's kind of fun if everybody comes with their favorite recipe and it gets put in the box. So that could be really fun. You could use this as your template to make a stiffer divider. So I was wondering if everyone might think that might be something fun to do, because I've picked up some other dies for the themes. So one of the dividers could be casseroles. And depending on the paper, you could have this along on the front of the divider for casseroles. Cookies. Everybody has a cookie recipe. This one could be cakes recipes. So there's a number of different themes that we could choose. So if you think that that's something that might interest you, drop me a line, and I'll be working on that this week. Other than that, I think that's everything for today. So go in, check things out. I will be posting all the products that I used. But this one here, the Chroma Transparencies, so much fun. And I'm sure you guys will even think of more clever ideas on how to use them than what I did. But it's nice that it does have different fonts, so you can really mix it up. Different colored backgrounds. And remember, on the back side, you know what? Take your alcohol spray inks, your micas. Give them a spray on the back side to kind of add some color as well. But there's lots of fun. And, of course, the paper pad, which I had. Here it is. This is the back side of it. But this is, I believe you pronounce it Marimi Small Art. And this paper set was the antiquarial paper set. These flowers here are already tinted. You can see here the leaves have a little bit more color to them than the ones I used. But again, this one here, this one could have so much texture. You know, the embossing folders that have like a burlap or a linen look to them. This would look fabulous on top of that. But even with these textures, like I said, you don't have to use the whole thing. See, even if you just use this part, you could create with Lavinia stamps. You know, cross over back and forth. So much fun. This one here, again, this kind of reminds me of Tim Holt's, you know, his color wheel sort of thing. You can add that in there. Just the door. Even just this part here. There's not, the use is not just for journal pages. Again, beautiful cards. The artwork is absolutely stunning. See? Cafe. Put a couple little chairs here with a table. Fabulous. Again, you're getting 2 out of this one here. But this pad of paper, well worth it. Look at those gorgeous frames. But, okay, so you're going to look at these frames and go, really? But think of it. Half on a card. Okay? Half on a page. Look at the texture that you've got in there that you can add. You know, you could add some gold foil to this. Take your VersaFine pen, go around certain areas, and then add some gold foil to it. This one here, I'm already preparing. And when I cut this out, I saved this inner piece. Okay? So that this, it was going to be, my thought is like this, halfway. And look at this gorgeous flower. Isn't that just gorgeous? One big one right on the page there. Okay, so that's it, everyone. Short and sweet today. Let me know what you think about the recipe file box. We could work on that together, come up with some ideas. I just thought that might be kind of fun. And perhaps we could even exchange recipes, which would be fun too as well. Okay, well, thanks very much for everyone for joining me. Thanks Donna Dixon and Kimmy and Ann and Brenda. Thanks so much, everyone. Enjoy your day. And please, if you do give this a try and start working with these, I'd love to see what you create. Thanks so much for joining me today. Enjoy.